Welcome to episode 236 of the Muck Podcast. Listen in as we discuss the dark and sometimes weird true stories in American politics. I'm Tina Jaramillo.
And I'm Hillary Doherty.
Hillary!
I might still be a little drunk.
Ooh.
But...
She's drunk, I'm punch drunk. Like,
yeah.
Here we are.
It's been a week. All I know is yesterday I was like, you know what I want to do? I want to be on that Elbo Room live cam.
Oh my God.
That's where we're going today.
Oh my God.
But we started off at Riverside Market, which you know how much I fucking love that place.
Riverside Market's fun.
I fucking love that place so much. And we got into a conversation. We had to sit at the bar thing, not at the table, because it was packed.
Yeah.
Packed with people.
Good.
And we sat next to this couple who, this guy just was like immediately talking, you know, and I love that. And he's into classic cars. He restores VW Bugs, and he has one of those old VW box-looking cars. Do you know what I'm talking about?
The VW Buzz?
No, not the bus.
Oh.
It looks like a box almost. I'll have to show it to you. Anyway, incredible. And I'm asking him, like, what do you... He puts his cars... You know, I'm into car shows. Like, I don't know. It was a good night.
That sounds fun.
And then these people put their dogs on the chairs, and I was like, I don't even have a fucking seat. I can't believe this dog has his seat before me, but okay. Okay, that's probably how it should be. Fuck humans, really.
I mean, we suck.
Yeah, and then I texted you and Justin on the way down to Elbo Room, and I'm like, I'm about to be on the Elbo Room cam. Please go look. Oh my God. By the way, so fucking much fun there. So, girl, let me say something. You know Elbo Room. I know you. Okay. Yeah. But here's the thing. Elbo Room's been open since forever in Fort Lauderdale. It's classic, classic, classic. You have to go.
It's the only place to go. I feel like if you go to Fort Lauderdale just once,
you
to
just,
like say that you've been to the Elbo Room.
Cash only. I'm like, don't forget to bring cash because I don't fucking carry cash on me. But the people there, it is shocking. Like, we're talking about 20, 21-year-olds, 22-year-olds hanging out there.
But it's a mix. It's a mix.
It's a great mix.
I was looking at the camera and I was laughing. Which, when you texted me, I was in a conversation with my son, and then I squealed, and I was like, wait, I gotta find you two. And he's like, what are you doing? And I was like, I have to find you.
Oh my God,
and he's
so good.
And he's like, what is wrong with you?
Oh my God.
And I was like, what? I said, no, this is iconic right now.
Yeah. Well,
this is
the band was playing, oh my God, and I try, but you know.
Oh my God,
I was like, this
is a karaoke
song. Yeah. And then she's saying "Shallow," and this guy walks over in a cowboy hat, and he's like, he comes up and he stops her from singing the song in the beginning, because the dude starts it off, I think.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'll sing that part. He was terrible. And I said, what is this, fucking Manor Lane's karaoke? Because that's not what we're here for. Who interrupts a band? It doesn't matter. Anyway, the young guys, like the bros that hang out there. And by the way, bros, I was trying, you know, I'm very much like watching everything. And there's these like at least 20 to 30 sorority girls come walking in. And I'm like, they're not from here. And Simon was like, what do you mean? I'm like, they're not from here, these girls. One of them had like an LSU. I'm like, oh, one of them was wearing a Ron John, like a brand new Ron John Cocoa Beach shirt.
Oh, I go, that's so cute.
Fort Lauderdale girls would not wear this shirt.
No.
I mean, it's a cute shirt, but
no,
we would not wear a Cocoa Beach shirt.
Yeah, so they stopped at Cocoa Beach and then they headed down.
Yeah. And she looked like, you know, but it's like sharks in the water. Like these young guys, as soon as these girls all walked in and they're standing in front of the band, all of the young guys are going down like this and surrounding. Do you? And so I kept going. I kept saying, do you remember what it was like when you'd be in your 20s and you just wanted to get fucked and you'd go out and you're like looking for dudes? Like, I remember what it was like to be out with your friends.
Yes.
And like the possibilities of like, and just like talking, meeting someone.
Yes.
Oh my God. It was so good.
It was fun.
Yeah, but there's also still, like, we went at a time, it was like 10 o'clock, so there was still the older crowd, you know. But you go there during the day, it's like salty dudes, like salty old dudes.
Oh my God.
Like, what's the guy who makes the fish sticks?
The Gordon's Fisherman.
Gordon's Fisherman sitting here, okay? Gordon Fisherman sitting at the fucking Elbo Room. That's what you get about 4 or 5 o'clock.
You think Gordon Fisherman, and I think like a Hemingway.
Same. Yeah, same. It's the same person. I mean,
and actually, they kind of look the same, actually.
Yeah, they're the same person. It's fine. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know. Anyway, if you get to Fort Lauderdale, go to the Elbo Room. It's fun. It's and it's right on the beach, so it's like, it's just so beautiful. Anyway,
I love that.
It's a fun time. Yeah, so that was good.
Yeah.
And I got on the live cam, which was hot.
I mean, that is...
I walked in, I was like, where's the camera? I'm gonna be on TV.
So good.
Well, where do you want to start? I mean, we could start with the elections, the presidential or Florida.
Let's start local.
Okay, go ahead. I've got a couple of local.
No. I know. I want to talk about what you want to talk about.
Oh, I want to talk about that
later.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Okay, then you jump in.
Well, do you want to talk with Ben Sasse, who's out as the University of Florida president? Ben Sasse's a former Nebraska senator, Republican. DeSantis appointed him, or I don't know if it was DeSantis, but somebody floated his name as the new president. He was
presented before the board
of college something.
Yeah.
Board of governors?
The board of college presidents or whatever that is, and primarily Republican. I think he had one no vote.
Yeah. And it's just odd that it's not I'm sorry. It is odd though, don't you think? Maybe I'm wrong, but that you don't have an academic sort of person as the president. You have someone who's just because he's a Republican. Yeah. Like, isn't that what happened? Because he's not a teacher or wasn't an educator or professor. Like, this is just
no. This was just part of his DeSantis's presidential campaign,
right? Of
trying to get rid of DEI and all the woke teachings at the university and things like that. And when I saw in Sasse's post when he made the comment of, one of the best liberal arts colleges, it's like, dude, you're trying to get rid of departments that are part of that liberal arts, banner of calling it a liberal arts college. Like you want to get rid of classes and teachers and a whole gender studies, you want to get rid of all the stuff that is in the humanities that is part of liberal arts. I was like, what are you talking about? Because he says in one part, we want to bring more STEM in. So, fine, bring in more STEM. I mean, it's a research school too. But this guy...
He ends up, he's only there for a couple of years, a few years. And he ends up resigning maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago because of his wife's health. Apparently she has epilepsy and it's just gotten a little bit more. So he needs to concentrate on what's happening at home.
Fine.
Makes sense. So he's leaving. But what happened this week is the Alligator, which is the school newspaper, drops a investigative report that his spending as when he's there has been triple what the previous president spent. The first year he spent $17 million compared to his predecessor who's the year before spent 5.6. So they started looking at what was he spending this money on. Well, it turns out he had hired 6 of his former staffers from his political days, 2 former Republican officials and he paid them all salaries. None of them ever moved to Gainesville. They were working remotely. These are people who, by the way, it's comparable to the jobs before.
This is a crime. To me, this is a crime. This is a crime. You can't just go into a job and start hiring people for things that don't even exist.
Yeah.
You can't just do that. You can't do that with funds that should be going to programs or just like building the coffer of your university.
Well, also part of his exit package is he gets his full severance until 2028.
Which is, I mean...
millions of years. Has hundreds of thousands of dollars. And also, so since this report has come out and people are like, this is what it is. This is the grifter that happens when you put Republicans in power in places.
They're all grifters. Yeah. They're all shady. They're all cheats.
Yeah.
I feel like if we look at every example of what DeSantis has been doing with the people that he appoints somewhere, the stink is on them.
Yeah. Where they work on 2 boards and they won't leave. Yeah, they won't leave a board.
Every single time. Like, where is there no federal investigation to come into DeSantis and say, what the hell are you doing?
Well, for this, the Florida CFO, Jimmy Patronis, has come out and said, we need an investigation. He is instructed whatever college review, whatever, to look at this and find out what the fuck was going on because... He said he wants to make sure university funds are being spent the way that they're supposed to at school, for the school.
And you're talking about all the bragging that he did about that university. He's right. Like UF has become known as the Ivy of the South, right? Even though it's not an official Ivy, but that's what they call it. It is a very good school. It's hard to get into. And it's one of the draws of bringing people into this state. And you're going to trash one of our premier public research universities? It's crazy to me.
Yeah.
And we talked this week about what happened to New College.
Ooh, that's the other thing, another college news. New College was this incredible small liberal arts for real college where kids who wanted to go to have that sort of experience in Florida could go to. And it was very, I don't want to say, it was started by like a hippie colony, basically. Yeah. I don't know. But it was this beautiful school, and it offered so much. Well, that they wanted to make an example of that a few years ago, and they went in and removed the DeSantis.
Yes.
Went in and made sure everybody was removed, the president, everybody, and it no longer offers certain classes. They literally dumped thousands of books this week into a dumpster.
Into a dumpster.
Thousands
in a parking
of
lot
books.
on campus. And thankfully, like, someone saw what was going on and was able to take pictures. But a lot of the books were from what department? Yeah. Guess what? The Gender and Diversity Center.
Yeah.
So, and because it's now a defunct department, because, God forbid we have any conversations on gender and diversity at a university. Universities are places for thinking and that's where you do that stuff, right? Didn't you love that about college? Like I was a humanities person, so I loved having those conversations in my sociology classes and all of those classes. Even if I took like an African American lit class, like you talk about all of these things, like that's what you're supposed to do in university. You're supposed to expand your thinking and have these intellectual conversations about issues that impact the world that we live in. And you're going to strip universities of that very thing. So what? It's just going to be math and like we're going to talk about Aristotle. And I wish they knew the fucking Greeks, because if they read any Greek play, it's all orgies.
Hot.
I mean,
also
like, they don't know what they're talking about.
But the worst part too is that there were students in the middle of their schools, college education, like 2 years in, 3 years in, the last year, and then they come in to this new college, and the classes to finish their degree no longer existed there, and they'd have to leave the school to go finish somewhere else. Dude, they don't care about anybody. They don't care about anything.
Yeah, and some of the other books, of course, were like LGBTQ books.
No,
like
yes, everything they say book ban should happen. Yeah, that's it. That's it.
This book banning, I'm in a group with for a particular course that I teach as a college level literature course, and a teacher posted that I guess her syllabus got leaked or something to the community, and these parents all start reading the books that are listed on there. And she was like, can you guys please help me? And she posted the letter that came in about what she was doing. And it's outrageous. Like, you have someone that is a trained educational professional who is, and because there's, profanity, and there's, sex, and there's this, that it is so inappropriate for our children to even hold in their hands. Like, these are young adults. I am so glad that this was not happening.
The conversation
I needed my C. Andrews and my Anne Rice books when I was a youngster.
Not good examples.
No.
Let's skip that. Let's go to
that. No, but here we are. Are we damaged from reading the things that we read? Like, come on.
Listen, the conversations that my daughter overhears at her school would blow your mind of what these kids are up to. So let's all take a deep fucking breath.
It's not the books.
And calm down. My ex-husband said that to me this week. My son wants a Spotify account, wants me to add him onto the Spotify so he can listen to music without commercials, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, because his birthday's coming up. I'm like, sure, that sounds fine. But it goes from like, my daughter has one with me. It's a duo account. Now that jumps to 6 people on the account. And so I called my ex-husband and I was like, do you want to be on this? Because I'm going to have these extra spots. Like, I don't know. And he was like, well, can we monitor what he's listening to? I'm like, no, I'm not monitoring the music he's gonna listen to. Like, to me, when I was his age and getting older into high school, that was my refuge.
Yeah.
Was being able to listen to a Nirvana and feel angst, and it felt like somebody else out there felt the same way that I did about life, right? Like, that is what it's supposed to be. You don't fucking monitor that.
No.
I don't even want to tell you what he said because it was wild. It was wacky. But like, no, I'm not going to monitor their music. Besides the fact that, they listen to some pretty shitty pop music that if I have to listen to it, I'm going to jump out a window. Like, I'm not fucking doing that. That's less worried about like devil then I'm more worried that they're listening to bad pop music. That's what I'm worried about.
There's no devil in the music.
I know, okay. So, okay, so finally this week, I mean, listen, I'm all for the Kamala Tim Walz love fest, right? There was another video that the campaign put out, which I thought was great. And
the taco
one? The taco one, they're talking. Yeah. It was really cute. It was really funny. But I was like, okay, when are we gonna... we all love you, but like, let's get to some policy. Like, we need to start, the people who don't know who to vote for or whatever, like, we all love you, but we need to tell people what you're about. So now, finally, this week, they're putting out, on her campaign speeches, they're doing policy, which all sounds so fucking good. I'm so excited about it.
It's gonna be
and a poll came out this week that has her within 3 points of Trump in Florida. Again, if she flips Florida, I'm gonna ice skate home because hell has frozen over.
I need to talk about this because when I heard this, I don't want to get excited.
No, I'm not excited.
I don't want to get excited.
I don't believe it.
And two, I'm so traumatized. I think we all are suffering from PTSD with the polls of 2016. That we cannot rely on polls and just think it's going to be fine.
Yes.
We all have to get out there, and it's got to be a landslide so that there is no contesting anywhere across America. But I swear to God, if there is a possibility of her flipping this state, I don't even know. The only thing that would make it better was if this was a goddamn governor year. You know what I mean? Because if she could win it, then lucky. Like we would have Florida back.
Well, it would also depend on who that candidate was.
Oh well,
Dems aren't really known for putting up great governor candidates for Democrats.
That's true.
But you're absolutely right, and I know you don't want to talk about polls, but also this morning before we started all this, the Siena poll, which is kind of a big institution that does polling, the New York Times said that the new Siena poll, that they're putting the Sun Belt area, the Sun Belt whatever, back in play, which is huge. Now, Sun Belt is Arizona, North Carolina, Georgia, and Nevada. How North Carolina gets in there, I don't know, but those all are considered the Sun Belt states as far as voting.
How do they do Sun Belt versus Rust Belt?
I don't know, because so the others, so like Arizona and Nevada are in it. I think that's why.
Okay.
But like those 4 states are pretty important. I mean, notice that Florida's not in it. Like, you would think the Sunshine State would be in the Sun Belt, but we're not. We're not involved.
Nobody cares about.
Nobody cares about.
Nobody cares.
And also, and then let me keep this for the record. By the way, it's August 17, 2024. If Kamala does flip the state, it has everything to do with Kamala and Tim Walz and nothing to do with the Florida Democrats.
Oh.
Okay. Let's just make it clear. Let's make it clear that you don't get to take credit for that. Nothing. You don't get to take credit for anything like that.
It's the Kamala campaign, and it's the people that the Kamala campaign are putting here to do work.
You haven't done anything to get people out to vote. You haven't done anything to, go, girl, no.
I saw they put a flyer up, like, recently about one of our candidates, and I'm like, oh, wow, 3 days before the election, that's nice.
Give me a fucking break.
Could have been well before that.
The other thing is that the Twitter space debacle was this week with Elon Musk and Donald Trump.
Oh my God.
Which I don't know anything about, except that Justin started sending us clips, and he's like, is he wearing dentures? Girl, this man, and by the way, I saw him in another press conference this week, and he had that full orange makeup on. So he definitely didn't have it on last week when we were talking about that press conference.
Who does it? Who do you think has the horrible job of sitting him in a chair and slathering
because he probably doesn't
up.
have his teeth in when he's doing it, so he's like, and he's got this fucking...
he's got like a... And then they're slathering it on, and then they got to go back and make sure the stain is... Who's doing that? How much?
I don't know, but
how much are they getting paid to do that? How much of the campaign money is going to that person?
Well, that's essential. It's essential. By the way, they put a picture up of there's these 5 dudes, and it's like, this is who their Gen Z group, like, of the campaign to get Gen Z voters.
Oh,
and
no,
it's
I didn't
like
see this.
Rape. Like,
no,
girl, it's so crazy. I'll show you the picture, but Barron is standing in the middle.
Oh.
One of his goofy friends is at the end, and then there's 3 adults. Like, they look like they're in their early 20s, but they look like they're roided out.
So they're using Barron again.
Yeah.
You know, Barron.
By the way,
if Barron can vote, I bet you Barron's not voting for his dad.
I don't know. There's a Twitter account.
Rebellion.
My mom keeps telling me about this Twitter account called Mr. Weeks. I think it's Mr. Weeks, and this guy used to be Barron's like
tutor,
nanny or something. And he put pictures up of him and he talks about these horror stories. How this kid's a horror show, horror, not horror. Like, would hit kids, hit his father. If he didn't like something, he would shit his pants. My mom's telling me this. I go, Mom,
wait,
but what's that to do with this election?
But,
she goes, I think you should. I go, my mother is obsessed with Barron Trump. Like I don't want to hear
is it so?
this.
Because I'm hearing like shooting pants. Like, is there something like developmentally
she
wrong?
Thinks there's something. She thinks there's something.
Yeah, because then it's like, okay, well then you can't blame. I mean, you can't blame him if that's how he's reacting and he doesn't know. You know what I mean? He can't process.
But they said that. Remember, he just graduated high school, and they said he was going to the University of Pennsylvania. You know, so where his father went, and all his brothers and sisters.
He's going to UPenn.
That's what they said, but there's been no move to Pennsylvania. Like, I don't know when that's supposed to happen. I remember reading that. My mom was like, he's not going to college, Hillary. He's not going. My mom keeps saying that to me. And
she must be right. Come out and go, yeah, we didn't accept this kid.
Yeah, I don't know. Ooh. It's something very odd there.
Because you can't get in that school. That school's so hard to
Anyway, I saw somebody retweeted, and like, this is the gen, and I saw a girl retweet it, and she said, instinctively covers drink. When you're at a bar and you see a bunch of fucking bros like that, you're like, oh God, don't roofie me.
Oh, are they all from like the rich frat? Rich, snotty frat?
They look very like, like Joe Rogan bro.
Ew.
You know what I'm saying? Like Andrew Tate sort of like school of rapey.
Jesus.
You know, where they stand with their legs spread out real wide and
Andrew Tate's school of rapey.
Yeah. He's the president, he's a top professor, he's the dean.
Ew.
Gross. What else? Is that it?
Yeah.
Alright, girl.
Alright, buckle up.
Let me stretch.
Buckle up, listeners.
Let me stretch.
Buckle up, because it's about to happen.
Okay, listen. I can't believe I'm here again, having to have this conversation with you. I know you're watching. It's okay. Mwah. I can't believe it. And also, I ask this, how dare you? How dare you continue to put me in this position?
I know.
I don't want to have these conversations with you anymore.
No.
But you're not competent to lead.
Ooh.
And you have surrounded yourself with fucking assholes. I've already called her an asshole a couple years ago on here, or a year ago. She's still an asshole. All the people you surround yourself with are assholes. But you're the lead asshole. Because you're embarrassing Democrats in Broward County, and you're embarrassing Democrats in the state of Florida. Period. You're an embarrassment.
It's so unfortunate that we don't have good leadership. We have such potential in this county to be a shining star of hope for the rest of this state. You know what I mean?
We have
the potential.
Over 500,000 registered Democrats in Broward County, and you wipe your ass with that. You wipe your ass with that information.
Or you just like depend on it and think,
yeah,
you rely on them, and instead of doing anything, it's just, okay, well, the people are here, I don't have to do anything. No, you have to do more to keep them engaged, to keep them involved.
There's a couple of things happening here too. We're talking about the Rick Hoy and the Broward Democrats, okay? Because a big thing happened this week, and we'll talk about that. But here's the other thing too. You've worn people out. I remember going to my first Broward Dems meeting in February 2017, and you could not find a seat.
Yeah.
Cynthia Bush was the chair, but it had nothing to do with her. It had everything to do with Trump being elected. And y'all are now down to a handful of the same old gray blue hairs showing up, and God bless them.
Yeah.
God bless them. I don't know how they keep showing up for you. Because you'll walk all over people with your bullshit. The lack of respect for people who are on your DEC executive committee, and the lack of respect of people who are members of the Broward Democratic Party. And as a Broward Democrat, someone who votes here, it's a lack of respect for me. Because you behave as if you have no one to answer to. You act as if you can do whatever the fuck you want, and you can't. That's been proven this week. And the reactions from people speaking out about this stuff publicly is they're being paid by some campaign, and that's their fault, and they're a loudmouth. Until
no accountability.
Except, why don't you actually look at the bad behavior of you and the goons you surrounded yourself with? You need to look at that. It's not me. It's not Nancy Fry who speaks out. It's not anybody else who texts you and is like, what's going on? How about you just do your fucking job the right way and be cool? Because you're not doing that. So this week, we spoke about this a couple weeks ago, where I said the Broward Democrats voter guide's going to drive me to an early grave.
Yeah.
That's where it's guiding me, to an early grave. Because they can't seem to have anything that is out in the open, any sort of endorsement process, which you guys really need to put in place.
Yes, and we don't know the process. All I ever hear is that there is a committee. Who is on the committee? Where are the meeting minutes of that committee? And frankly, I thought, and maybe someone can correct me if I am wrong, but I thought that as an elected precinct captain, that precinct captains had a vote on who is endorsed, number one. Number two, I thought that quorum had to be made to even do any of this.
Yeah,
and we know
for several meetings leading up to endorsements, you have to have quorum.
We know that for years, when's the last time they had quorum? I don't know. Maybe they've had it here and there, but I know for a fact that they have not had quorum in a long time. And something that needs to be thought about is, why don't you have quorum?
Right.
Why aren't your precinct captains coming out for you?
Aren't you concerned? Wouldn't you be concerned if you run an organization and nobody comes out to your meetings? But you know what? You know why they're not concerned, Tina? Because then they can get away with bullshit. You don't give a fuck that nobody's involved, because then nobody's watching you. And that's why bullshit happens. And the reason why people post about your shit is because people out there need to know. Believe me, they might not, all these sycophants around you, these old motherfuckers who are like trying to defend you, behind closed doors, they're talking shit about you. Okay? They all know. Elected officials, members of your party, they're not happy. You do not support candidates. And that's very fucking clear after this week.
Right. And you play games, and it's this, again, we should be clear and transparent. And we've seen it again and again with certain people get the endorsement, and in other races, everybody gets the endorsement. It's not fair. It's everybody gets the endorsement, right, and put everyone's name, or you have a process where you're selecting one person to endorse.
Yeah.
You can't play it both ways and then make up things like, oh, well, you didn't volunteer enough, or you didn't show up. Like,
Bitch,
what does that mean? Like,
no.
if I ever run for office,
girl,
would I not be endorsed?
No,
even though
no.
I do all of this other work with a local caucus and other things.
No.
That's not enough work.
No,
it's only the work that you think I should be doing. It doesn't make any sense.
And here's the tea, right? Because, and I can really speak from experience here, because we have sat on a board, she still does, the Dolphin Democrats, that I sat on that board for 4 years, 2 of which I was on the executive, committee as a treasurer, right? Where we had an open and fair endorsement process. It takes it completely out of the board of directors' hands. We don't have anything to do with that. We send out questionnaires. They get returned. The person presents them at the endorsement meeting. They have a 2 minutes to say, or 3 minutes to say hello to the crowd, and then they vote. And it's completely out of the president's hand. It's completely out of...
And it's supposed to be like that.
Yeah, everybody can see who's voting. You hold on to Tina, we just went through this week. You hold on to the ballots. Everything's out there to be seen and free, open.
Correct. And if someone says, oh, I want to see those ballots, okay, here they are. We have evidence of the ballots.
And also, why wouldn't you want to have it that open and clear? Why wouldn't you? But you know why? Because you want shenanigans.
Yeah.
Because that's what you're about.
What you want to do.
That's what you're about.
And the thing is that when you put it on the people, then you don't have anyone saying, oh, they're playing games, they're cherry picking, they're doing this. No, the membership decided.
That's right. It's completely out of your hands.
And in the bylaws, it says, again, correct me if I'm wrong, a 2/3 majority for endorsement, or simple majority, depending on what the race is and the number of candidates that are up for it. It says it in the Florida Democratic Party bylaws. Now, I tried finding the Broward Democratic party bylaws, and I couldn't
Good
find.
luck.
I couldn't find anything.
Yeah, they're probably supposed to be by
they're
some
probably
sort
with
of
all the treasurer reports.
Yeah, well, that's the other part.
5 years.
Y'all don't want to even follow your bylaws. From what I hear, there has been no treasury report presented to your members, which is per your bylaws, the treasury report has to be presented every fucking meeting. And somebody asks every meeting, and apparently the chair just goes, go call the treasurer. We don't have... What? Why? And by the way, anybody else who's listening who saw this Barbara Sharif debacle this week, if you think that's shady, find out where the treasury report is.
Yeah.
Find out where's their money.
Yeah. I mean,
what is the money? This is, by the way, quite frankly, I'm on it because I look at your quarterly reports every fucking quarter. I see who gives you money. I see who you give money to. So I know where your money's coming from. I know what you supposedly have. You're supposed to give it to your members. You're supposed to present a treasury report. All right, hold on. Let's get into this. Okay. So a couple of weeks ago, they put out this voter guide. And like we talked about on the podcast previously, it'll list 3 names under a seat because they just don't give a fuck. It's not guiding. It's confusing.
It's basically if you're a Dem and you are
running,
race,
they put your name on it.
And then this is the other thing that I think I need clarification on. Clubs are not supposed to endorse.
Clubs are strongly suggested to not recommend. Not endorse. Right. It's called recommending.
Correct.
They're told not to do it because caucuses can, because they have a voting process. Correct. They follow an endorsement. But Broward clubs are not supposed to be doing that.
So if they're not supposed to be doing that, then it should be every candidate is on there.
Right.
There should never be a case then
where someone's left off.
Where someone is left off, because then again you're playing favorites. So what are the rules? Can you guys recommend or not? If you can recommend, what is the voting process for that to happen? And it should not be 5 people in a room deciding. That should always
I think it was definitely a lot more people than that, but let me get back into it. So this thing comes out, and what happened at this campaign committee meeting is that they discussed who they're going to endorse. And in the state Senate District 35 race, which is in West Broward, which was previously held by Lauren Book, there's 3 candidates running. Barbara Sharif, who is a former Broward County Commissioner, Chad Klitzman, this is his 2nd time running for office. He ran for supervisor of elections 2 years ago. Yeah. And then we have Rodney Jacobs, who's the first time he's running for office. So, by the way, 3 Democrats are running for that seat. All competent, fine. They should all be listed. I'd be hard-pressed to who I was going to vote for in that district. Well, not really, but we're not going to discuss that here. Right. I'm not a Broward Dems person. I don't have to tell you who I'm endorsing. So anyway, in this meeting, it was apparently a contentious conversation of they wanted to only have Barbara Sharif. There was a huge conversation. They all said, we have to put all 3. And that's what that's what the decision was. All 3 candidates get listed. Well, then there was a special meeting called by Grace Carrington, the queen bee of destruction and shenanigans. Girl, you got a lot of people. It's you. And you're one of the people that he has surrounded himself with who's a problem. You're a problem because it's about you. It's never about what's best for Democrats in Broward. You should no longer be the state committee woman in Broward County. That should not be a thing anymore. You are not honest and you are not fair, and you talk so much shit about people. And all you want to do is tell people, oh, this person's talking shit. Oh, well, this is why. And for what? For power in Broward County? What are you, fucking crazy? Who gives a shit? All you're doing is uplifting somebody who doesn't know what he's doing. And you like that. It's like when Paul Ryan got what he wanted out of Trump and then left office. He got to do his corporate tax cuts and then he left because he used him to get what he wants. And that's what you're doing with Rick. You're allowing an incompetent person to stay there because you get to do your tricks behind the scenes. That's what you do. And you should no longer be there. Because she calls a special meeting and she says, no. We're only putting Barbara on the card. And that's what they did. They only put Barbara Sharif. But and her, and then meeting? That's the card that she shared. And that was the original card. And Amber Vaughn, the president of the Coral Springs Parkland Democratic Club, another fucking person you've surrounded yourself with. Bad news. You're another one who's bad news. All you do is try to be his mouthpiece, his pit bull. We all see you guys. Everybody knows who you are. Everybody knows the fucking shenanigans that you're doing. You shared a card that was not supposed to be shared. And you thought nobody would notice. So then this card with only one person listed as a state Senate seat gets sent out. And Shad Klitzman and Rodney Jacobs are like, excuse me, not to mention a ton of other people in the party start calling Nikki Fried, who's our Florida Dems chair. She has to make a call to Rick or whatever the conversation was. And immediately the card was changed because you can't fucking play games. And now this is all happening, by the way, behind the scenes.
Right.
Right? Well, it gets out to Steve Bosquet, who writes for the Sun Sentinel, the editor for the Sun Sentinel. He writes a scathing fucking article about the Broward Dems and what happened here. What has happened in this? Why would this ever happen? That's embarrassing enough. It's in the paper.
Yeah.
But then this week at early voting, your BFF, Barbara Sharif, was so fucking bold. There's a lot of reasons why we're bold. We'll get into that.
Printed out?
Because somebody gave her the original fucking graphic. I wonder who could have done that. Everybody had access to it. Grace Carrington, Amber Vaughn, Rick Hoy. Who gave her the card to print?
Or did she? Yeah, she.
No. It was not doctored. That was the original fucking card.
No. I mean, she could have pulled it off the line.
Absolutely.
If it was still
like I said, whoever posted it, which you could still go see, it's still posted in many places. There's these people I'm telling you about.
Oh god.
Okay, so Barbara Sharif is so bold this week that at the polls, her and her poll volunteer workers were handing out that card with only her listed.
Wow.
So who gets a hold of it? Glenna Milberg from WPLG Channel 10.
Wow.
She puts this tweet up about it. It's unbelievable. Barbara Sharif comments on the tweet and says, no, this was the original card
But didn't she also say that she had permission?
Wait.
Yeah.
So then, that's scandal, by the way. Scandal. So then Glenna Milberg does an entire fucking story that airs on Wednesday. What was that? Wednesday the 14th on WPLG Channel 10. Please go watch it. Her voice is even like, the fuck's going on here? Because she's not even a part of this. And when you're on the outside and you hear about what's happening on the inside, it's shocking. Y'all are shocking individuals. Your behavior is shocking. Do you understand? And it's normal. It's business as usual for you. Because you know why? Because nobody's watching. Nobody's saying, yo, there's a fire over here. Nobody's paying attention because you're irrelevant. You have no power. Nobody gives a fuck about you. You've warned people the fuck out. They don't show up for you. You have no volunteers. Right? So Glenna Milberg puts this thing out. It is 2 or 3 minutes of the most embarrassing fucking story I've ever seen. And then she throws up, according to Barbara Sharif's attorney, she had permission from the Broward Democratic Party chair, Rick Hoy, to hand this card out.
This is so wild.
Then throws a picture up of Rick and says, Rick Hoy was unavailable for comment. Of course, because I don't know where Rick goes when there's shenanigans, but it's under whatever rock. And then he sends out Amber Vaughn to do his bidding because he's a coward. You're a fucking coward. Show the fuck up. Say something. This is your organization. If I was the president or the chair of the Broward Democratic Party and somebody accused me and said that I gave them permission to put out a card without other candidates on it, I would be so embarrassed and upset about it. I would say, that's not true. Here's what the case is. And you say what it is.
Or it's true.
Except you did give her permission, right?
Yeah.
But you did do that because you think no one's going to notice. And now it's on nightly news. You fool! You're a fool! And this is what happens when we are not watching these people. When you don't watch leaders and politicians, which is what they are, when you don't watch them, they behave this way. They're in the dark. And they're creating shenanigans. And this never would have happened. You can't blame Barbara Sharif. She took poisoned apple off of a poison tree. You gave her the card originally, Grace Carrington. You left the other names off, Grace Carrington. This all happened. Barbara Sharif believes she can behave this way and be so boldly because so do you. Because you think you can behave this boldly. Shame on you. And also, it would be one thing if this was the only scandal. This is the fourth thing that I can count up. First of all, it was leaving her off the card. That was the first one. The second one was elected Broward Democrats supporting a Moms for Liberty school board member Tori Alston, that you were silent on that. You were silent on the Barbara Streep. You're silent on Tori Alston endorsements, which Hazel Rogers is still doing. You took money from her for your fucking wings night for convention bullshit. You took money from a woman who's supporting a school board member who wants to take your job away, Rick. Tori Alston wants to take your job away. For sure. So take money from a woman supporting him. That makes sense. The third thing was, which I never brought up because I don't want to bring more attention to this, but you have a sitting club president in your fucking Broward Dems, a sitting club president from a club, who made a video telling people she wasn't voting for Debbie Hickson for school board, calling her a racist. She said implicit bias, but we know what that means. And told everybody else watching to not vote for a sitting Democrat. As a president of a club who signs an oath to the Democratic Party, she is violating that oath and needs to be removed or have some sort of sanctions against her for doing that.
Yeah,
that's a clear violation of the oath that this woman has taken. And again, silence. Nothing from Rick publicly. Now you've got a WPLG report, and guess what else? He's still not responding. Yo, what the fuck is going on over there? You know why? They don't say anything because they know it'll go away.
But here's the thing.
It's not going away.
Here's the thing. He's doing all of this, but above Rick Hoy, we have the Florida Democratic Party chair.
Useless.
She got rid of 2 club leaders in West Palm and in Miami.
Oh, chairs. Well, the one in West Palm wasn't removed, but they did. Yeah, she removed them to have a hearing.
Yes.
Yeah.
When is that happening for Broward? Because I would imagine that if Nikki did call and say, what are you guys doing with this palm card? And they fixed it. And then now this other palm card is the one that got released. Wouldn't the chair say, what are you doing? We had this conversation. Why are we in the news? We have a chance in Florida. We were just talking about a chance to maybe make a great change. We need strong leadership to help us do that. We don't need shenanigans. And it's been 4 years of shenanigans.
Yeah, oh no, this is just the last couple months.
This is just like 2 months. We're in the middle of an election season, and we have these horrible candidates running for school board, and that same person that was going out against Debbie in the district, the countywide seat, also invited Republicans and had conversations with Republicans who are running against our Democrats. Yeah. I'm sorry, but we're not giving Republicans space.
Playing games.
We're not giving Republicans space because they're not inviting our candidates to their little Moms for Liberty event. And the fact that you would even consider endorsing any candidate that is supported by Moms for Liberty for the school board.
You're a joke.
This is outrageous. Like, immediately there should be some kind of punishment.
P.S. On that post, because our friend Nancy shared that video and it was taken down anyway because it's enough. It's a lot. Okay? Because what's said in the video is fucking crazy. It's crazy. Girl, honey, you're way off. Way off. Okay? And number 2, you know how easy it would have been to correct that? Rick could have commented on that post and said, without a shadow of a doubt, as the Broward Democratic Party chair, with full faith, Debbie Hickson is endorsed by our party and by me, full stop. That's the comment. That's all you have to do. That's all you have to do. But instead, what did you do? You attacked the person who was putting the post up. Because you don't like to actually deal with the fact that there's shenanigans and you might have to hold somebody accountable because you don't want to hold anybody accountable because then someone would hold you accountable. You know you can't hold people accountable for shenanigans because you're up to shenanigans. And I have to tell you, I've lived my entire fucking life above board. Above board. It's not hard to do. It's not fucking hard to do. And when you are in a position of power, especially the chair of the Broward Democratic Party, you know right from wrong. And if you are doing something that you should stop, if something's about to happen, you got to stop for a second and think, what would it look like if this was in the newspaper? What would it look like if Glenna Milberg was up my ass with a microphone? Am I going to look like a piece of shit? Am I going to look like an asshole? Or is this going to be okay? Stop before you say that someone can share a fucking card. And the arrogance, the absolute arrogance in you thinking that no one was going to notice. Yo, fucking wild shit. But I understand it because nobody says this shit to you. Nobody says it. And those dodos over at the Broward Dems, they're going to reelect you, right? Right? They're all going to get behind you because you've got these pit bulls in your corner. When we continue to uplift people who are doing damage and embarrassing us as Democrats, you got to get rid of them. Thank you for your years of service. Get the fuck out. We're done now. How are you not fucking embarrassed by this? How? How? I'm shocked. I'm absolutely fucking shocked. Girl.
Ooh. Well.
I want something better. I want something better. I think that anybody who puts himself out there deserves to have some sort of acknowledgement, but you don't help people with campaigns. You don't help people who are elected. Like, there's all kinds of shit happening that is so insane that you don't do what you're supposed to be doing. I saw a video, I think it was from Duval. I saw a video from the Duval Democratic Party. That was a video they put together in support of their school board candidates, like a TikTok video. Yeah. And it showed them, and then it showed here's who they're running against and what they stand for. And it was this quick fucking 1 or 2 minute video, 1.5 minute video that was so amazing. And I thought, what would it be like to have a party who actually supported the Democrats who were here?
I know.
Because you can't make that video, right? You can't make that video because you're supporting Tori Alston, right? That's who you're supporting. Yeah. Right? Because I haven't seen you say anything else. So I'm just going to go under the assumption that you are supporting Tori Alston, someone who wanted to rescind your teacher raise, somebody who wants to completely disassemble the Broward County public school system where you work.
That pulled millions of dollars out of the budget, and now teachers are surplus, classes are overcrowded, elective options are gone. But yeah.
Absolutely embarrassing.
Great job.
Absolutely, absolutely embarrassing. And the worst part too is that the same people you're trying to protect are the ones that are stabbing you in the back. That woman who made that video, that club president, she never even thought about how that would affect you. Barbara Sharif handing that out and then saying that you gave her permission. Ouch. Ouch. That must have hurt. That must have really, really hurt. Because they're all the people you're trying to work so hard for, and you're not going to say anything because you don't want to, get these people in trouble. They're putting you in the line of fire, and you don't do anything about it. That's why you're the perfect person to be sitting there, because they can all use you and manipulate you, which is what they're doing. Imagine if Rick was surrounded by people who actually want to do a good job. Wow, what would that look like? Yeah. Rick! What if you were surrounded by people who actually wanted to present a treasury report? Who actually had their shit together enough to make a treasury report and reconcile accounts every month? I don't know what's happening, but I don't understand any other reason why there's not one. I know to run a club successful or a caucus successfully, people have to do their part. Yeah. I knew that as treasurer of the Dolphin Democrats, I had to have that report ready twice a month for the board and then also for the members. I was reconciling those accounts twice a month. There was no shenanigans. It's right up. Everything's above board. It's not hard to do.
Same thing with what's on the agenda.
I was working for someone who didn't accept anything less. Imagine what that would be like if you were surrounded by people who didn't want to stab you in the back and use you, but actually want to make you look good and work hard for you. What would the party look like?
It would be incredible.
But you know what? Keep surrounding yourself with these women who are doing you no favors. Even Amber Vaughn sharing that card. Should have never shared that card. Again, one of your flunkies. You're a problem.
That's our show for today.
Oh, good. Let's get the fuck out of here. Also, I wrote a letter to the editor, so that'll be in the paper on Sunday tomorrow. I'm so fucking excited about it.
I can't wait to see this letter.
I can't fucking
This isn't an anonymous letter.
No.
This is an actual letter.
Yeah, and that's what I say in my letter. The beginning of my letter is, here, I know, I haven't read it to Tina yet, but basically I said in the beginning, here's when I registered to vote in Broward County, and it was a year before I turned 18, and I'm telling the world publicly how old I am, just to show how easy it is to tell the truth. Yeah. That's how easy it is to tell the truth. Let people know. Tell the truth. If you have nothing to hide, why aren't you saying anything? If someone was publicly accusing you of something, you would sit there in silence?
No.
You gave her permission for that. Come on. All right, Tina. Oh, wait. We have a present.
Oh.
From Annette. Hold on.
What?
I know. Oh, God, I hate that we're doing this right after I'm yelling.
Oh.
But
well.
sorry, Annette. But Annette's been yelling at me about these cookies all week, so... She's
We
like,
have
put it in the...
cookies?
Yeah, she's like, put it in the freezer. Put it in the refrigerator.
I need a cookie. I need a cookie. I'm so excited.
I'm going to open the card.
Oh, it's so pretty. Wait, can we see it?
Let's see. I can't see anything. Oh, nice.
Tina and Hillary, queens. We had an exceptionally cool evening in Cleveland, so I baked again because the joy has returned to my soul.
Aww.
I'm not getting ahead of myself, but whatever happens, I 100%. I couldn't have made it through without the two of you.
Aww. Annette, what the fuck, man? Oh my
This
God.
is so sweet.
Very sweet.
I need this week. I'm so excited.
All right. This one says Hillary, so let me see. This one must be for Tina.
Oh, girl. Tina's only. Oh, he's got
Ooh, it's chocolate chip cookies.
Yay!
Thank you so
Tina
much.
only. My kids are not eating these.
It's a dish for the children.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Good?
Girl. This is what I'm doing tonight.
Oh my God.
Oh, shit.
I hear
With
you.
this little box of cookies. Thank you.
Thank you, Annette. She was like, we're gonna open it on air. And she's like, I don't need all those accolades. Just give the cookie for the
But
cookie.
she drew it.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
It's
That's
so
really good.
Cute.
Yeah.
Zooming in.
What's
I
that
don't
thing called? A melting face? What is it? Metal face?
Girl.
I know. I'm sorry.
Steal your face.
Steal your face. I was close. I was close.
Steal your face.
Thank you.
Thank you. Are we ready?
Oh God.
I have a super short one, so
All right, let's go.
that's good. Because we're like
We've been going an hour.
Yeah, it's an hour. So I was like, oh shit, my story's short, but I'm like, I don't care. How about that?
Life is short.
Life is short. God damn it. Life is too short
Eat
to be
cookies.
dealing with all this. Well, yeah, life is short. Eat cookies. To be dealing with all of this bullshit during early voting and election in our primary election.
And also, in about 15
Come
or 20
on.
minutes, I'm going to feel like shit for everything that I just said. I still stand by it, but I do feel like shit about it. Just give me 15 minutes. It still stands, though.
Well, this is why we have this platform, Hillary.
No, not for much longer. Not for much longer.
Well, we're going to get fired.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. All right.
They come shut us down.
We're going to come. Yeah.
Who's coming? Fucking the Shenanigans police?
Yeah. Well, no, they'd be going to the
Somebody-
Democratic Party.
Somebody call Glenn Milberg. It's been an arrest.
All right, today
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you the story of former Florida Senator Elisha G. Johnson.
Florida?
Yeah.
Okay.
Elijah.
Oh.
Maybe. I don't know.
How's it spelled?
Elisha. Elisha.
Pick a name.
G.
Is it
Johnson.
Elijah or is it Alicia?
I don't know. I'm
no,
gonna
the
say-
parents. The
oh,
parents.
well-
Pick a fucking name.
Well, this is from like old timey. So.
Oh, okay.
So Elisha G. Johnson began his service in the Florida Senate in 1870. But
Jesus.
when political power is at stake, things take a dangerous turn.
Ooh.
Ooh. All right, so our story takes place in Lake City, Florida in 1875.
Ooh, Lake City, honey.
So
Oh my God.
old-timey
Yeah.
Florida story.
Mm.
All right, so again, short story, 1870s. There's not a lot out there, so bear with me. I couldn't get a lot of background, so whatever. So from the wiki bio, Johnson was born in North Carolina in 1839, and he was one of 13 kids. He served with the Confederate Army during the Civil War, and after leaving the Army, he moved to Florida.
Where racism comes to live.
I mean, yeah. Here we are.
Mm.
There he worked as a doctor, and he was also a deputy tax collector.
Mm.
All right, so this guy's entry into politics happens because his opponent was using voter intimidation tactics to keep black folks from voting. So remember I did that a long time ago. I did that story about how they would intimidate voters at the polls, and then they would like get
Yes.
people drunk and get them. So it was like that kind of stuff happening, like where they're
Right.
scaring people off.
Mm.
So he earned the win to the Senate in 1870, like after the opponent was doing that stuff. I guess he called him out. I don't know what, but he wins the Senate seat. So another important thing to note that even though he fought in the Civil War for the Confederacy, and back then, remember it was swappy swap. So he switched to the Republican Party, which was the liberal party back then. And the Confederates thought he was a traitor because of that.
Oh.
Because he fought for the Confederacy, and then he's like, no, I don't believe in this stuff anymore.
Okay.
And he changed parties and everything.
Okay.
But the Confederates were in Florida were like, you're a traitor, you're
of course.
not happy. And that ended up impacting his politics.
Oh.
So one site I reviewed had some letters that noted that the local KKK was threatening him because of his switch. And a book that I was reviewing noted that Johnson, quote, embraced abolition and supported the human rights amendments. So it makes sense that the Klan wouldn't be into it and would, see that he switched the party, see that he's trying to, support the human rights amendment. They're not happy with him as a political leader. So the next election was important because there was this 12-12 tie. So both of them had their 12 votes each of the electeds in the Senate. And whoever won this party would break that tie, and then one party would have the majority. So there were 12 Democrats, 12 Republicans in the Senate, and so whoever won the race that he was in, it would be 13-12, right?
My gosh.
So there's a lot of pressure on who's going to now have the majority, right? So that's where we're leading into the election cycle. So, and the major incident. So on July 21st, 1875, Johnson was allegedly looking for a still around Fernandina, Florida. So a still is like this apparatus that boils in coils to make things like perfume, medicine, other chemicals. And so I guess this was like his business, so he's looking for this still. And for this still, I found some info that suggests that his business was turpentine, and so they would use the stills to make that. So that's probably what was being made, and he was going around his property looking for the different stills. So he's searching for this still, and suddenly
bombs.
No,
what?
But he's attacked.
No,
and he's shot in the face with a shotgun and killed.
Oh my God!
So this guy Harney Richards was arrested for the murder, but all of these high-standing folks in the community alibi him. They're like, no, he was with us. Oh, because they are all these racist KKK Confederacy people that wanted this other guy killed. So after Richards, there was no other suspects, so nobody was found guilty. Nothing happened.
Wow.
They all know that it was him, but because of the power of the people behind the alibi.
So now the other person is going to win that race?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. So the repercussions of this are interesting. So the opponent, Charles Jones, now led the Democratic majority in the Senate. And the fact that they would murder an opponent to try to get this majority.
I would feel very uncomfortable if I was Charles Jones. Because, you only won because somebody who supports you killed the other guy.
Yeah, or maybe you were involved with it. Who knows? You know what I mean?
Oh my God.
And
dude,
it's crazy, but I feel like something like this could still happen today. You know what
I did a story where the guy was killed by his opponent.
Yeah. I mean,
out on the farm somewhere in Tennessee.
Yes.
Yeah. And his wife ended up taking the seat.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's what I mean. At least maybe somebody else can take the seat. Holy shit.
Newspapers, even from the opposing Democratic Party, condemned the murder of Johnson. However, the Dem papers still had to note that they believed Johnson was guilty of election fraud. They were trying to say that he was only going to win because he was a cheater and this and that. So they were I don't know, it wasn't good that he killed him, but they still couldn't just let it go, right? They still had to say he was the wrong choice kind of thing. So, but privately, one of the Dems had this to say of Johnson's death. Quote, "In his death is our gain. That gives us a clear majority. In losing Johnson, we gain a county. If I was on a jury inquest, I should say shot by persons unknown and served him right."
Oh my God.
Yeah, they're we have the power.
Oh my God, it's so fucked up.
We have the power. And this is the thing that's crazy about politics. People don't want to give up that power, man.
Ooh.
And they'll go to great lengths to keep it.
Yeah.
So another interesting thing that I thought when I was like reading through this is that you would think that because they now hold all the power, that they can do things. But despite this hold, there was all of this infighting that was happening within their own party. And in 1876, the headlines read, "Republicans must unite or die." So it was just like, it was just drama.
But also, I could see that headline today. Like, this is so crazy how it never fucking stops.
Yeah, that's what I put in my notes here. Like, it's history repeating again and again and again. Yeah. And his death was used politically to connect the Dems as the party of murder and violence. So, like, they then have that reputation.
Of course, that's what I mean.
And that's why
like,
the Republicans are like, we have to unite or we're going to die. We got to fight against it. Like, it's just, I don't know. So, Jones's career ended in an interesting way. The guy that won the seat. In 1886, about 10 years after the murder, he supposedly was chasing after this super rich chick. And he went to Michigan. Like, he leaves Florida, like, to chase her down in Michigan, right? Okay. And he refused to leave the state without her. Ugh. He was, like, trying to bring her back to Florida.
Jesus.
Yeah. And supposedly, like, he went insane. Like, he went completely insane because he could not have her.
Girl, you know what we call that? Magical vagina.
That's
magical vagina.
So he never went back to Florida.
Although it's possible she didn't do that and he just wanted that so badly that he couldn't take it. Yeah.
So he never goes back to Florida, like to his Tennessee anything. Oh. And they had to remove him from like the committee seats.
God.
But
this is who you killed somebody for.
Yeah, they killed somebody for this guy, and then they couldn't. They took him out of committee, but they couldn't remove him from the seat. So his seat, like it was just like an.
So now there's no majority.
There's nobody there.
Wow, this guy died for nothing.
Yeah, I mean it was like 10 years later, but it was vacant until the next election, and he was sent to an asylum. And one newspaper wrote, "Senator Jones of Florida, of whom there was so much sensational newspaper talk last year, is now a mental wreck and penniless in Detroit and dependent on a friend for food." Like, he just spiraled out.
I have to in some way believe in the human spirit a little bit and think that this was all a little too much for him too. Yeah. Right? Like,
maybe
knowing somebody died.
Like, racking in on him.
And like it wore him out.
And that they're the party of like violence and like, he's connected to someone's death. Maybe.
And then becoming obsessed with this person because he just needs some sort of normalcy in his life, and then realizes he can't even fucking have that because she don't want him.
Yeah. Well,
I would contend, though, being penniless on the street in Detroit is a lot better than being in Tallahassee. Like, I would rather be penniless on the streets of Detroit than fucking Tallahassee with those fucking murderers. They're fucking murderers.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's wild.
What's going on up there?
But yeah, that's it. That's the story.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, it's a little short and sweet, but
it's so good.
I was like, what is this?
Amazing.
And then when I read about that guy chasing after the girl, I was like, oh my God.
Oh, so good.
Imagine if we heard that today, like just one of our senators like disappeared.
Well, we did. We hear the shit all the time.
Yeah, but remember the guy that he took off to
Louisiana? Are you talking about the astronaut? Oh, I thought you were talking about the astronaut who drove to
Louisiana. The senator that drove to, or the congressman that went to South America.
Oh, yeah. No, he was the governor of South Carolina.
That's it. Yeah. He took off. People thought he was missing.
Yeah. Oh, he's hiking in the Appalachian. No, he's in fucking Brazil with his girlfriend. His wife's at home, though, if you want to talk to her.
Oh, my God.
Fucking A. Well, back to school. How you doing?
I'm tired.
Yeah.
I feel like I've been back 2 months. It's, I really like my students.
That's good.
Yeah. Good kids.
Good.
It's just, it's back to the grind.
Yeah.
Waking up early.
Yeah.
I've been really trying to be disciplined because I'm feeling the impact of some of these decisions with like the charter school funding and like, with a lot of students in classes, and it's no fault of the school. It's just, this is where we are in public education when we have constant attacks on our public education. And so I'm really trying hard to just do self-care. And so every night I'm like, okay, by 10:30 I'm in bed. I'm not sleeping, but I read for like 30-40 minutes. And that kind of winds me down. And then on the weekends, I can't really crochet as much like during the week anymore. But on the weekends, like last night I did my crocheting.
Nice.
So I'm like, okay, I gotta make the time for the things that make me feel good. And then I've also been volunteering for an amazing school board candidate who is going to crush this election, Sarah Leonardi.
Yeah.
So I, going to work, coming home, making a quick dinner, taking my son to swimming, sitting at the polls, picking him up. So it's just been a busy weekend. I'm going to be at the polls in a couple hours today.
Are you?
Yep.
I voted last night.
Yeah. Oh!
Also,
wasn't it so exciting that
it's exciting. It took me 2 seconds, by the way. Fucking 2 seconds.
Just to circle that name, circle her name.
She's not in my district.
Oh,
so my school board member's not.
But you got to do Debbie.
I got to vote for Debbie.
Yes,
I'm voting for Debbie Hickson.
Yes. The only choice.
Oh my God.
District.
A couple things. In the last episode, I was like, tune into our Instagram because we're going to be out there live all week. Yeah, that's not what happened.
It'll be happening
it's this week. So please go tune into our Instagram. We're doing live videos with our executive producer, Alfredo Olvera, who's at the convention right now.
Yeah, he's actually. Did he go out last night?
Yeah, he left last night. So, wait, no.
He's leaving today.
He's leaving today at like 5:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're having dinner with Adam tonight. They're going to hang out with Adam. I know. They're going to have such a great week. Dude, Tina's shirt. So our local record store, Radioactive Records, is closing.
The end of an era.
I'm so upset. I know. Your son loves that place too. It's right near your house. But like
my son was in that record store almost every other day the entire summer.
It's really fucked up. The
entire summer. And the first week, because they closed this week, and they said, come in, we're going to have everything's for sale.
Yeah.
And starting on Tuesday, and Tuesday after school, he's like, you have to drop me off right at the record store. Like, I had to drop him off, and he came back like 2 hours later, I think, with, a handful of records, but really sad. He's like, what are we going to do?
There's no other...
There are some, but Radioactive was just like a thing in Fort Lauderdale.
This is small. Other ones are so small. And then they're going to be doing online. Like, it's still going to be a shop, but it's online. But I don't... It's
Discogs or something.
Yeah, I don't want that. I don't want to shop for records
don't you like,
online.
I like to look and pull out a record. And my son's thing, like when we would go in there, they always have all like the record players out. So he would... He found like such interesting things that maybe he would have never picked up because like he saw an album or he recognized a name, and then he would play it and see if he liked it, and he's got the set things of things that he likes, but he also has some other like kind of random artists that he just found in like the $5 bin or the $1 bin that he was like, oh, this sounds kind of cool. And that experience of doing that, I think is not the same online.
Of course not.
Like, maybe you can still hear it, but it's still...
No, girl, nobody wants to shop for records online.
Yeah.
The whole thing is going in
and digging through the bins.
Yeah.
So they have a couple things. I took him to one where it's all of these online record stores like do like at a convention, and we went to one, I want to say it was like in May. And you pay like $5 and you go in, and it's at like a hotel convention center room, and it's all the different ones, and he got some cool stuff there. And so I'm on like the list, and there's another one going to be coming up, so we can go to stuff like that.
All right.
Some of the places were like reasonably priced, but some of them were like, they wanted like $40 for a record. I'm like, dude, it's a used record, like cut it, But anyway, so there's stuff like that. And then one of my students told me about another local place, and she's like, I have another 4. She's like, I'll give you a list next week. So
nice.
Yeah. So hopefully we'll have some other places to go, but still not the same.
Also, Declan, my son, went over to Tina's house last week after the show.
Oh.
And he's like, Mom, I need you to get this lemon like seltzer soda.
Oh.
It's Italian. And I was like, OMG. I said, damn it, with Tina, these damn Italian bullshit. It's Italian, he said to me. She's trying to explain to me what it is. I'm like, I'm sure we'll find it. He's like, it's one of these taller cans, the skinny cans. I'm like, oh my God. It's coming into my life.
Pellegrino.
Is it Pellegrino? I was naming things I couldn't remember. Whatever it was, he loved it.
Oh my God.
It's Italian. I was like, oh boy. Oh boy.
What do you want from me?
Yeah.
I hope he had fun.
Oh my God, he had so much fun. So much. Thank you for having him.
It was so cute. They were just playing and laughing. And,
oh, good.
Yeah.
Love that boy.
Good.
Well,
good kids.
I guess that's it. Now I gotta figure out. Now I gotta figure out how much of this shit I want to cut out.
Yeah.
I said today. Oh my God.
Send me a text.
I will.
This is why we can't ever go live.
Yeah, from this minute to this minute, take it out. This minute to this minute, take it out.
Oh my God. All right. Well, Annette, thank you.
Girl.
I can't wait for Annette. Annette one day is gonna take a trip to Florida.
One true friend. We got our fan. We got one true fan.
Yeah.
It's Annette.
It's Annette.
All y'all, you don't send us gifts? You're out. All right, well, we'll see you next week.
Yep.
All right. Bye.
Bye.